Hello learners, today in this session we are going to discuss about that how there is an international influence in developing often India's geospatial ecosystem. In 2011, United Nations constituted a United Nations Geospatial Group of Informations Management. India was the founder member of this group. This group has developed a framework for positioning geospatial informations to address the sustainable development goal. As all of you know, in sustainable development goal, there are 17 different sustainable development goals and there are 168 targets and 232 indicators. So, UN Group of Geoinformations Management or UNGGIM as an apex body are responsible for developing a framework where it provides a template for its member nations to develop how a geoinformations management system can be developed in a nation for addressing the sustainable development goal measurement spatially. There are two components of this framework. One is a statistical component and then there is a geospatial component. As you know, in geospatial information management also there are two components. One is the spatial data, the data which is having an XY locations, but each of the XY locations have value only when it is attached to an attribute data, and the statistical the aspects of this framework basically give that attribute data. So, UNGGIM and globally they decide about that which are the minimum list of global fundamental geospatial data themes are required. This has helped many countries to determine about that what are the minimum data requirement for developing a national framework, and this is true for India also. We have adopted this as a part of our national geospatial policy 2022. This framework basically helps in integrations of the geospatial, statistical and the other related informations. This is an important input for the current census activity which is going on. As you know, the current census activity first time is integrating the attribute data with the geospatial data also, and this will provide an immense analytical capability to find it out the demographic trend, the demographic strength and how that can be utilized in our nation building processes. Now, over time the UNGGIM from the initial framework has developed an integrated geospatial information framework which is called IGIF. The IGIF, as you see here, constituted of these 9 different subsystems which are divided into 3 parts. The governance part has the governance and the institutions, the policy, the financial aspects, then the technical part is the data development, the innovation development and the standard development, and the people part, partnership development, capacity and education and the communication engagement. So, India has taken advantage of this international development, especially in the context of these 3 current development. As the main thing is at the center you see the National Geospatial Policy Development in 2022, in the left you see the National Drone Amendment Rule in 2022 and the right is the National Indian Space Policy which is in 2023. The National Geospatial Policy 2022 consists of the 6 pillars. The data infrastructure, because that is the soft infrastructure based on this a geospatial ecosystem of a nation develops. Governance and the institutional framework, because that provides the framework in which the geospatial data development, management, conversions into the different informations and usage of that for the social development, the market development and ultimately into the decision making processes for the nation development is being guided. Collaborations and partnerships is an important component of the National Geospatial Policy, and as a result this is called an ecosystem, because the different subsystems, they must collaborate and interact. Then there is in geospatial innovations in the ecosystems, capacity building and the standard development. There are different milestones under this National Geospatial Policy. Understanding this, you will understand that as you are studying that the geospatial science or technology or the about in geospatial policy, how you can contribute into this total geospatial ecosystem, the development. So, as you can see here, these are the different milestones for implementing the National Geospatial Policy, which again has come out of our strong international collaborations, is that to establish and strengthen the infrastructure, the geodetic infrastructure, redefinitions of the national geodetic framework, high accuracy geod for the entire country, developing and strengthening national subnational arrangement in geospatial information management. Then by 2030, strengthening of high resolutions topographical survey and the mapping, high accuracy digital model or DEM for the entire country, then developing a geospatial knowledge infrastructure, then enhancing the capabilities and skills. So, basically the focus will be up to 2030 will be the strengthening and capacity building. Then from 2000 by 2035, its applications of high resolutions and accuracy geospatial data for waters and the sea surface topography to strengthen the blue economy, survey mapping of the subsurface infrastructures in the major cities and the towns. So, this is a milestone which again is in dynamic and you must know and participate in that, so that we can take the advantage of this geospatial policy. The other important focus are the education, the skill and the capacity building, and the learners. If you are from the academic and the research community, you must take an advantage of National Geospatial Policy, what it provides, the focus on education, skill and the capacity building. And for that, as you can see, there is a Geospatial Skill Council is in the formations, geospatial educations at an international level are going to be developed, centers of excellence, capacity training, surveyors certifications. These are the different aspects of this. The innovation is a very important component of the National Geospatial Policy. So, the cutting edge research in geospatial science and technology for indigenous capacity building is a focus where you must also take part in that, so that not only we develop different the applications, we can develop geospatial indigenous geospatial technology, we can take the geospatial science ahead, then only India can be the global leaders in terms of these geospatial sectors, which is the target of a National Geospatial Policy 2022. So, from today's discussions, what we have discussed, and I hope that you have learned, that India's geospatial ecosystem development has a strong international influence in terms of the UN GGIM framework, which has been started from 2011, and then the International Geospatial Informations Framework, which is brought into in 2020, which has been integrated as a part of India's National Geospatial Policy 2022. If we understand this, we not only can take part in that, even we can internalize these components into our national geospatial ecosystem development. Thank you very much. Jai Hind.